Okay, good morning, you guys. It's Priscilla from our backyard homestead, and today it's going to be a different video. The reason why I sound like this is because it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Why are we up at 3? We're going to be smoking a pork butt. Well, Dan's going to be smoking a pork butt, but I'm up for support because I love doing this and seeing how he does it, because it always comes out so good and amazing. So right now he's getting the coals and all that stuff set up to go. I'm making coffee like right now. Water is boiling. I'm about to make his coffee and make my hot chocolate. I'm going to need a lot of hot chocolate. So stay tuned.
Good morning, guys. So as Priscilla said, while I was outside lighting some coals, we're going to be smoking this big 8.5 pound pork butt. So usually this process takes between 12 to 15 hours. So that's why we're up at the crack of dawn. I don't know what I did with my knife. Oh, you
I washed it. My bad.
Okay.
It's nice and ready for you, honey.
So the first thing we're going to want to do, first, I'm going to be using very simple seasoning: salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika, smoked paprika. So first thing we're going to want to do is just cut off some of this excess fat here. Just go nice and easy with a sharp knife, slicing off some of that excess fat. You ain't gotta get too crazy with it. You just don't want all that fat. A little fat's nice, but you just don't need all of that. I try to cut away as much as possible. Just take your time. It's worth the process. Try not to cut yourself. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Just like that. Boom. Alright.
Cool.
So the first thing we're going to do, after I wash my hands,
Yeah, wash those hands. So good.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some plain old deli yellow mustard as a binder. What we're just going to do is just squeeze it all over the place and just rub it all in. And don't worry about the taste. You won't taste the mustard. You won't even know it's there.
That is definitely true.
And all you're doing this for is just so that you have something for the spices that we're going to use to adhere to. A little bit more. Don't worry, food place. I'm gonna wash the bottle. All right. So there we go. Mustard is on.
Okay.
All right.
What is next?
Next is, of course, the salt. Again, this is a big piece of meat. You can be pretty liberal with the salt. It's going to be really tough to make this too salty. So this is just a small grain pink Himalayan salt. You can use whatever kind of salt that you got. Just make sure you get it all on in there. I don't use any kind of rub per se. I just kind of throw things on in layers, then smear it around. I try as best I can to just use one hand at a time, but sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so we got some salt on there, so next we're going to go with some ground pepper. Okay. Next, we're going to go with some onion powder. Now this is a super fine onion powder. Not exactly the kind of onion powder I like, but it'll do the job. Okay. Next is garlic powder. Now, as I'm doing this, I can feel that the texture is already getting very tacky, which is what I want. I want it to be nice and tacky. Now, you can use like a regular rub if you want to. You don't have to. This is how I like to do it. I just like to add layer upon layer upon layer of seasoning. That's just me. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who will tell you otherwise. And then finally, smoked paprika. You can use sweet paprika, you can use smoked paprika. I'm using smoked paprika today. This is where you're going to get a lot of your color from, right here. And I like to be pretty liberal with the paprika.
Man, this looks so good.
And that's it. Now we're just going to let this bad boy sit here. You can see it's already clumping off in my hands.
Oh, wow.
So we're just going to let this sit here, get all nice and tacky while that grill gets up to temp. And then once that grill gets up to temp, we'll come back at you.
All right.
Okay guys, so we're back. We're ready to get our pork butt onto the grill. Right now my grill is just a hair over 350, which is running a little hot, hotter than I would like. You want it around 225 to 250. But that'll be fine. It'll come down to temp when it needs to. So now, let's get this bad boy onto the grill. And this is set up for indirect heat, so we're just going to put it right on over here. Nice, and you see I got all my coals over here.
Oh, wow.
So we're just going to let that sit there. We're going to throw my little hunk of wood right up over those coals. And we're just going to let that wood smolder and smoke. And it's going to get us that nice little smoky ring. And that's all there is to it, guys. We'll be back at you in a couple hours. Okay, guys, so the pork butt has been sitting here for about 8 hours now. As you can see, we got a nice mahogany color there. It's really starting to put on a nice little bark there, and it's really looking amazing. So now what we're going to do, I already took the temperature, and right now it's sitting about 150, 155 to 148, depending on where you stick the thermometer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, and we're going to wrap it up for the last 55 degrees or so for the next maybe 6 hours. Hopefully, I'm shooting for 4, but we'll see where we land. But for the next couple hours, we're going to have it wrapped up in foil and continue to cook it to get over that hump. So we'll be right back when we get back into the kitchen. Okay, guys, so now we're back in the kitchen. We're getting ready to wrap this bad boy up. Put that right there. Move this off to the side here. And you're just going to wrap it up as best you can. I'm just going to wrap it around this way, put this around, this way, hold this up. Once you get this guy wrapped up, you're not unwrapping it until it's done. So in a few more hours, I'm actually going to come back and I'm just going to go right through the tin foil with my thermometer. I'm not even going to open it up because you're not bothering it at all. What's going to happen is you're going to hit this lull while you're smoking it where it's basically just going to stop heating, stop cooking for what's going to seem like hours. And that's what this wrapping is supposed to do, is actually help you get over that hump. So regardless, all I'm going to be doing right now from here on out is just checking on the temp to make sure that the actual grill temperature is sitting at that 225 to 250 and letting it cook.
Yes.
We're not going to be bothering it. I'm not going to take another temp until probably about 4:30 or so.
Okay.
So here you are. Wrap a little bit of foil. Wrapping it up. Wrapping it up. Go. And now, this is going right back out onto the grill. Come on.
Yes, let's go. All right.
Okay.
Adios
Right
for
back
now.
on there. And now, like I said, all I'm going to do, keep monitoring that temperature right there. I ain't worried about what the temperature says in the pork butt itself. Not until 4:30. See you then, guys. Okay, guys. So it is now 4:30. So we are about to take our first temp after it's been wrapped up in foil. So hopefully there's some good news from this. We'll see where we're at. We're just gonna go right on in.
What's it saying?
All right, so it looks like we're at 192.
Not bad. It's getting close.
196. 198. So yeah, we are actually in pretty good spot actually.
Yes, we're getting very close to 200.
We're shooting for 205. Shooting for 205. So we'll let it go for another hour, and then we'll take some more temps and see where we're at. We're probably looking at about another hour and a half, though.
Torture.
Yeah. So we'll get back to you in another hour. Okay, guys. So it's about 10 to 6 now. So you know, obviously we weren't ready for 4:30. I came out here around 5:30ish. Still was a little cool. So now we're here. 10 to 6, we're going to see where we're at now. We're just going to do a temp check real quick.
Okay.
Just to see.
What's it say?
So this is saying 198. We're 201 there. 200. 200. 200. So, one of the other things that you can do, let me get over here. We're going to open this guy up. And I can already tell that it's like so super gelatinous.
Wow.
So what you can do is you can put it in, and you see how that just turned right on out?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So.
Oh man.
If you're getting that,
oh yeah, it's
then you're good. So
right.
I'm gonna call it. We are good to go, and we're gonna be taking this guy out, and we're gonna be putting her on the counter to rest for about another half hour while I make everything else for dinner. So be right back.
Okay, y'all. All I have to say is that he gave me a little taste test of this pork butt, and it's so good. So good. He is so excellent and awesome with making pork butts all the time, smoking things. Like, smoking is his thing. Like, food smoking, obviously. But isn't he amazing? Look at him. But yes, so hopefully in another 20 minutes or so it'll be fully rested and ready to be put on rice. Stay tuned.
Okay guys, so our pork has now rested. We got the rest of our meal, some rice and some broccoli florets finishing up. So now we're just gonna actually pull the pork. And it's really, you know, you can get those Wolverine claws. I'm sure you've seen them. But really, guys, it should just come apart like this. I mean, this is just, look at this. This is just beautiful.
Yes, it is.
There's the nice fat cap right there. And I mean, it should really just shred apart like this. This, I mean, you know, this is fantastic. Look.
Oh my gosh,
it
like
just,
butter.
That's exactly what it should be like. You don't even need those clothes. Those clothes are a waste of money, which I have bought. I have bought them. But I mean, if you cook this to where it's supposed to be, I mean, this is it right here. Oh, it don't get better than this right here, boy. Look at this. Just shredding right apart in my hands.
My. Oh.
And now this was an 8.5 pound pork butt. And I think all told, it took Maybe about 13 hours.
What time is it right now?
Well, I mean, it's 6:30 now. We took it off. Oh, we took it off around 6 o'clock, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'd say, yeah.
So about 14 hours.
Wow.
All told, it took about 14 hours. But I mean, this just makes it all worth it right here.
Yes.
You're just gonna mix this all in.
It's worth getting up at 3 in the morning for some wonderful
really
stuff
is.
like this.
And so you can see that beautiful smoke you got going on right there with that pink.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I gotta get me a little piece of this real quick.
Oh, that's the race.
Oh man,
God.
you got that pork, you got that smoke, you got all that delicious seasoning. Oh man, that is so super tender. It's delicious, guys. This is really so easy. If you have a nice size grill, little tiny basket, you just add a couple lumps of charcoal every half hour to an hour. Let this guy just go for all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the butt to get up in the morning for it, but I mean, it's just you don't get better than this. This is just so good, and this will probably last us probably throughout the week. We'll have a little bit here, a little bit there. Tonight, like I said, we're just gonna have a little handful of pulled pork, some rice that we've added some star anise to, and some broccoli florets that we'll season very lightly. And I mean, that's dinner right there. All right, guys. We love you guys. Keep growing. God bless.
Take it easy. Yum.